Well, good morning. It is getting warmer in here. This morning when it was, I think it said 84 outside, at least that's what the weather app said, it was cold in here, good and cold. Now it's comfortable. It's a comfortable temperature, and we're running the 12-volt air conditioner. I had this running all night long. I actually think because that little Wuzu fan was running back there, moving the air around, it may have actually taken a little bit more power. Last night, it got down to, I think it was like 18% of the 700 amp hours of battery. We need to do something with these wires. And by we, I mean I need to do something with these wires. And I just want to show you the air here coming out. This morning was somewhere around 42, 43 degrees Fahrenheit. Right now, it's warming up outside, 51. What I'm getting here. And the bed this morning was at 62, so it was actually probably a little too cold. Right now the bed is showing 75. Emma should be heading back to Vegas, I believe this weekend, and we'll be able to go ahead and head out to cooler temperatures. So it would be nice to hit the road. I know that Phoenix is a few degrees hotter than here, but it's all around the same insane, 110 plus. But the goal for today is really to button this up in a way that it doesn't look bad. Now there's a couple of options that I can think, right off the top of my head. And by the way, if this seems loud for some reason, it's only because there's no cover on here, so it doesn't bother me whatsoever. I'm more worried about, I like white noise generally, especially while I'm sleeping. And if we're on the side of the road, it's great to have, so it kind of hushes the cars down. But yeah, if it seems loud, it's really not. In person, it's really not. But I have to figure out how to run these wires. So I can run them out and then drill a hole and run them into the battery bank. Spoiler alert, that's not going to happen. I did not buy a trailer that was all perfectly sealed up, very minimal leak points to simply add more holes. I'm not doing that if I can avoid it. There is the option of going in through the fridge. So there's a vent on top. We can go behind the fridge. Because this is a propane unit, that does work. The regular, I believe the 12-volt compressors shouldn't have a vent. Some might, but I don't believe they should. So I could go in behind the fridge. I just have to pull that fridge out. It is just me. And honestly, I'm not an RV tech, so this isn't something that I do all the time. It just makes me a little bit nervous. Now, I could also, I'm trying to think okay, if I were to pull these wires out, I could just pull these in with them. But because I want to leave this here just in case, right? And who knows down the road, right? We could put a fan in here. We could put a big, I really like the idea of the mini split style, right? That just sounds really awesome, variable speed. Something that's at least as efficient as this guy, but maybe can push a little bit more cold air volume. So I don't want to replace this wiring because then I have to pull it back through. And while I was initially gung-ho about that, slept on it thankfully, I think I'm gonna hold off. And I was thinking, sticky tabs or something like that and running this along, but that would look terrible. So I need to evaluate some of our options here, and I'm not drilling a hole in the walls. I'm one of those folks that if I can avoid modifying anything at all, it should really, at the end, it should look like I was never there. Couple of important discoveries here. One, I can use a much deeper fridge here. Two, I actually don't need to remove the fridge in order to run the wires down. I can actually see the reflections of sky up there. So as long as I'm decently careful running everything down, maybe shut the fridge off, obviously, I should be able to run my wires very accessibly back here. And I'm so glad the way they ran these. They're next to the fridge. I can access them if need be. This is a very repairable trailer. And I know sometimes it might seem like people talk up whatever they have. And to some, to some degree, like everybody does that, right? But you guys also know that we have told the absolute truth. Like when something doesn't work well, I mean, I always try to look at things through like optimistic eyeglasses, right? When something doesn't work well though, we don't stick with it. And this is the first trailer slash RV, whatever, that I've not had any sort of feelings of regret. Speaking of, these are so hot, I should probably be covering these. No regrets, because every time I'm like, oh, this is gonna be difficult, it's just not. It's just not. Oh, I love this, man. This is going to be a lot easier. So what I'm thinking here is I can go ahead and open up the dinette and just find where these cables are running, and I will probably actually drop the wires in. I need to loosen the AC, but drop the wires in so run them along, and I'll just use the sticky tape things they came with. And kind of run up and into there, then drop them down here and over into the batteries. Just got to hook up a little switch and I can't believe it. Also, I definitely need to do some cleaning here. Definitely need to do some, that's gross. Actually, it took me 2 days to get this guy unboxed and installed. And part of it is that like you have to be kind of, it sounds weird, but you have to kind of be in an emotional place, ready emotionally to handle potential failures and things like that. And I was not in the right headspace. And so by the time I got here, I'm like, great, we got it installed. And I'm like, if I would have known how easy this could have been, I would have done this in yesterday's video. This is great. Right now, oh, that's hot. The roof, 120. Yeah, 119, 118. This unit, 152, 151, 150. Okay, 153. 143. And the exhaust, actually, 127. Somehow the exhaust is cooler than the actual frame itself. That's really something. We didn't take a look at this yesterday, but here's the innards of everything. And here are power cables. I need to get those. Gotta get those out of here somehow. I think I loosened this up a little bit. I need to get that all the way loose. Got two problems to solve here. Gotta run the wires. Gotta make that less hot. It's not pretty, but it'll definitely get the job done, and I want this paint to stick. All right, let's clean that off. I see a little bit of gloss right on that edge. Okay. The beauty of this is it only has to look good from afar because it's, up on the roof. Okay, wipe this down with alcohol. Could use mineral spirits. Actually, probably should have gone with mineral spirits, but we're here now. You get what you get, you don't throw a fit. That's what I say. You can do a little light pass here. All right, first coat. Scratches are way deeper than I thought they would be. It does, definitely, the coverage is pretty decent. So I got 4 of these cans. Honestly, I think I could probably get away with 2, which is good. And I got some clear coat. I'm debating though, going with a finer grit sandpaper, maybe a 400. I'm sure I have some somewhere. Maybe run that over it, because this looks terrible when you get it close. But from afar, honestly, it doesn't look bad. You know, for basically a backyard no prep spray can rattle can job, that looks all right. It looks more than all right when you consider it's going to be up there, and nobody will be able to tell the difference. Plus, you add a little dirt on it, you know, ain't nothing wrong with that. So I'm happy with it. Now I'll go ahead and wait a little bit. My family should be back, and they can help me run the wires, and I'll get that on once it's good and dried, at least a couple hours, good and dried, and I think we'll be cooking. I think this project will be done. This has had some time to dry, which is awesome. So let's take some temperature readings here. 169, geez Louise. Yeah, 170 on black. Interesting. Huh, not a big difference between black and gray there. But this guy, 136, 135, 134, 133. Weird, why is it going down? 132 is what I'm seeing. 131. So that's a massive difference. I can't remember what it was on the roof before. Let's take a similar reading of the fiberglass again, because they are different materials, so I expect there to be some difference. But that should be lower than what it was. All right. Woo-wee, that is hot, hot, hot. That is hot. Okay. What we're gonna try to do, I've got everything loosened up from underneath, and I have the battery cables disconnected. And so the goal is, first, I need to get the cables run from over here, which it looks like actually they're coming off of the silver box here. I need to get those cables run from over here to over there. And we're gonna go underneath. Let's pull this up here and get the cable routed properly. So I got these wires here, and I want them over there, and I'm thinking there's a clear path, and then I can basically just have them kind of come up and down from the cowling, and I'll put some like cabling. Hey, Sierra, can you grab me, I need a little bit under that bench seat. This is the left bench seat. There's some of the cable protector. Can you grab that, please? I can actually see some of the white, they kind of foamed around that. I wonder if I should, yeah, there we are. Yeah, kind of, there's a little break right there. So we'll go ahead and I'll put some spray foam in there to patch that back up. But I have the wires out here now, and I can secure them easily, and they can come out from under this cowling here, right there. So I can actually see where those came out of, and I should be able to shoot a little tiny bit of foam right up in there. Boom, all right. It has run that away. This is very, very hot. Now let's go ahead and get it run under there. Hard to tell here, but yeah, that's a pure copper cable. That is not aluminum or anything like that. So good, good, good. I don't know what the goop is in there, but it is pretty messy stuff. We got some square bits there, S2, and got 4 of those to get this cover off. It's like a butyl. It could be a dichroic, but it's so like, it's still very wet feel. Like it's very, I'm gonna make a big mess with this. Cover. The other ones were captured, so that's cool. Now we need to get into these and then drop. All we should have to do is just actually drop the cables on that side, I think. All right, I need to break a couple of these wires. Oh, pliers will do it. Give us a good. This is really easy to manipulate, but go ahead. Yeah, let's get these kind of cinched down. Nothing poking. There we go. And that one's a little goofy. There we go. Yeah, and these are also protected. So we'll set it down and we'll try to keep it to the rear of the vehicle. And then we'll zip tie to this as well. They're coming down, Barra. Can you see them? All right, now give me 2 zip ties, please. All right. Yeah, I'll just use the one here. That'll be fine. This came with the unit. Oh my goodness, it's hot out here. Okay. that. Easy. Now those cables don't want to go anywhere. Awesome. Insulating foam, window and door, low pressure expansion, airtight and water resistant. Good. I'm gonna go ahead and just go from the bottom up and just fill that whole area, and that should be good. Okay. Sure is nice having helpers, so I don't have to get up and down, because that's honestly kind of a sketchy job. Might be a little different with a different type of ladder, but yeah, it's kind of a sketchy job. Okay, thank you. I'm trying not to scratch it too much. Oh no, it's pretty dry. Okay, thank you. Oh wow, that looks way better. Okay. Now just to line it up. All right, that looks much better. So even if they don't have the white one, you can still make it. I also looked at silver, and as long as the silver is shiny, it will actually perform better than white. But if it is a low gloss silver, it actually performs worse. So there we go. Now let's look at some readings. The roof right now, this is showing 111 degrees, 111.0. What about here? 113, 112, yeah, 113. 113, 112, 114 point. So this is way better. So this has also been baking in the sun. Over there, 110 here, 109, 108, 108, okay. Oh, interesting. So this area right here, 115, 112. Yeah, so I mean, you can only trust this so much, right? But at the same distances, it's equal or better. And it might just be that this is a thicker material than this plastic. So there's more air around it. That might be helping. I don't know. But either way, very interesting stuff. So that should be a huge improvement. Yeah, it's cooler to the touch. Far cooler than it was. It was actually hard to hold before. It's a market improvement already, and that should help cool off the coils, I imagine. Now this part is still, you know, that's still black, but it's getting, you know, I'm not as worried about that. That area was actually cooler than the shroud before. So let's go ahead. This area, just gotta bring the tools down and we're good to go here. Let's head on inside and finish that up. And that may very well be the hardest part of this, because getting those wires into the battery bay, it's not a far deal, but I wanna make sure I do it right. So let's head down. Whoa. Somebody's just setting off like fireworks. I don't know what's up. It's crazy. All right, just below the fridge here, we have better access. So if we can get the wires over to here, I bet you I can probably pull them in. All right, Sierra, go ahead and push those wires through again. I'm gonna pull from this side, from outside. And I see how they did that. Okay, that's good access in here. Yeah, right into the fridge. It did help to move the fridge slightly. There's something in here. I don't know exactly where, but it's stuck. It's like screwed in. All right, there's some spray foam around that, so I'm gonna touch that up. I guess it's a good thing we got that. And I think we might have just enough, I'm hoping. We'll see. We just have to push this back through the other hole there. Have that all the way pulled through. So it's all pushed in over there. All the way pulled through, but it is just slightly short. So that is not the end of the world, because what I can do is I already have a switch for this. I actually ordered a 2-pack, and I can go. There's nothing wrong with putting a switch where you don't necessarily need one. There is a problem with not having a switch slash
breaker where you do need one. So what I can do though is go ahead and zip tie this guy up. And I just need a small bit of extension. I bet you I can get some of that overnight. And then I can run the positive over there and the negative to the negative shunt. And then we'll be good. Alrighty, just had to wait for a few spare parts to come in, but let's get this fascia on. Now I'm seeing that this looks like it should actually be two pieces. So this is these are the vent redirects, and I know I can connect this guy to that. That seems like a no-brainer, but I think I need to pull off one of these parts to get the wires through. So it looks like there's a couple screws right there. That should be easy enough. Okay, so it actually looks like there's a sleeve on top of this that can extend, and I'm actually seeing some screw holes here, but, well, okay, that seems to add up. That would be why we have extra screws. So I need to attach this in there, and then that will line right up to it. These little bolts should go right up in there and attach in there. They seem to want to fit, and that's the outside-most position there. So in theory, we actually, unlike with the Houghton, that it's going to leave these guys behind, and I might have a solution for that. This guy actually is completely self-contained, which is a huge, really nice thing because the modifications are very minimal. There we go. Now, I am sure that there's a way you could add a better screen than this, but this seems about like what the other ones are. So there's actually a filter all over this, a netting all through this faceplate here. And so this should just clip in. Looks like it should just clip in and out easily. There we go. So this comes in an ESD safe bag, which is electrostatic discharge. All that means is that you don't want to touch this board. You want to keep your fingers off of this because, especially in Las Vegas, for example, we have a lot of static electricity that builds up. You want to try to avoid touching the board itself. Still want to blow a hole in it. Red to red, that's easy. Kind of hard to mess this one up. Then this guy. Now here's a temperature probe. I'm going to shove it over here for the intake side of things. One more, there we go. Okay, pretty compact in there. And I'll shove this guy up here. All right, get it in there. Oh, okay, well, I guess I could screw it in, but actually it looks like it doesn't even need that. It clips in. Even better. It does come with a remote. I don't know that it's necessary for a van or a small trailer, but this is set on Celsius. It looks like when they're both off, we can press mode and down simultaneously, like that, and then turn it on. Nope. Oh, ha, that worked. Okay, it took a second, but now it's showing 86 Fahrenheit, and we want to set this bad boy to, let's see, we want to be on cool mode. We want to set this, let's say, a comfortable, wow, I wish I could turn that beeping down. This will go incrementally by 1, the remote will go by 2. Other than the display button to turn that guy on and off, I don't know that this is incredibly useful. So there's actually a cutoff, so you can say what what power point do you want it to cut off? That beeping is incredibly annoying and incredibly loud. It's not just in the camera. So if it gets down to like 11.5, it'll automatically shut off. Ooh, there's a turbo mode. I'm a big fan of the air conditioner itself. So today's actually a very comfortable day outside. Super, super comfortable. So we'll wait for the compressor to kick on, but it's pulling 98 watts. There's also a few lights on in here, so a little under that. I know this morning when I came in, it was running at about 180 watts just to keep it pretty level. Oh, okay, that's the button. This little guy right here is what moves that apparently. Is it a mini split? No, but I will say this works pretty dang well for a 12-volt air conditioner. Yeah, there's a little bit of setup, but other than that, like, I'm pretty happy with it. I love that it's all self-contained. You don't need to drill into anything else. The flange that goes around that you clamp in, that clamps onto the ceiling, that contains everything that it needs. You run 2 wires, and I don't think I showed you guys. Went ahead the other day and I got some 4 gauge, so you don't want to go smaller. I believe this wire coming in is 5 gauge, and then we got 4 gauge. So I have these 2 sets of switches. So they're both 80 amps. That should be more than adequate. By default, there's actually 2 sets of fuses on this that are a set for 150 amps. I wouldn't do that. 80 amps is more than enough. It should never be pulling more than 80 amps. That being said, 2 switches here. You can flip either of them and it'll shut it off immediately, or you can, reset those. And then I've got one of these guys goes to my positive and one goes to my negative of the shunt. That has been working great. And so, no, overall, I'm pretty happy with this. Yeah, actually, you can see the temperature probe. I could move that, but it's not gonna bother anybody. Yeah, no, I like it. It does have a filter, so that won't be too hard to remove as necessary. You can just peel that in and out. Under $1,000 pretty dang good. Is it a mini split? It is not a mini split. And unfortunately, I don't have experience with like an 18K BTU mini split style. There is one or two that I could think of that are mini split level efficiency, allegedly, on the roof. But there's also some that you'd stick on the, as a backpack, basically, or we could put on the tongue. The reason I'm not doing that is because I don't want to put more holes in our brand new trailer. This is next to plug and play. I mean, literally plug it in and it works, right? So a few steps. And I will say, I think the only difficulty I really faced was we were missing a few screws. That's it. I mean, there were small screws. Probably could have gone to Home Depot, but I didn't know exactly which size, but basically all of the screws are about the same size. So that's just something to know. Other than that, no, I've been super, super, super impressed with it. Sound test real quick. I almost forgot one of those. So obviously this is going to be kind of hard to tell, but this is about the closest I can get to a regular kind of sound test. This is on high. Now, when the unit's running at like 300 watts or 190 like it was this morning, I could almost not hear it at all. With the cowling, I don't hear the outside compressor, so it's even quieter now. So I would say this is set at 72. It's a little warmer than that. I also have the windows open, so. But this is all solar power, so I don't care at all. Let me go ahead and let's shut it down to like level 3. So this is sleeping at night. Yeah, this is nothing. Let's do a little sound test here real quick. So right up next to it at level 3. $51 at max. Granted, this is a cell phone, so, do with that what you will. Over here. What about here at the bed? I'm going to go ahead and reset. Worst case scenario, right? And this is on eco, but the fan speed, the compressor, it's all the same. So let's see, by the bed. Very good. Let's say we're cooking here, so, I mean, fan's right there. Let's see. All right, and then if we're just chilling over here in the corner. With the equipment I have, that's about as empirical of data as I can get. And just a little thermometer test. Obviously, windows are open in here. This isn't gonna be fair, but that is so interesting the way that works. Like the colder air's on this side. Oh, it's because there's almost no air on this side. So it's it's all out of here. Okay. Saying 50, okay, 51. I think the compressor is still ramping up. Yeah, on this, so there's almost nothing on this side either, so it's all this side. I mean, I guess it looks symmetrical. And I wonder if there's a way to mod that a little bit, hack that somewhat, and just increase the airflow a little bit. So there we have it. I gotta say, I can feel the air. That was one of my big concerns. And you can can manually adjust these, or you can have it kind of, you know, do its whole thing. But otherwise, oh, that actually feels good. Ooh, I'm very, very happy with this. Country Mod sent this over for review, and typically a lot of folks will do like a single review. I've done 3 videos on this now: the bench test, the unboxing and install, and then the finished product here. And so I will have a lot more for you guys coming up because I want to see how this behaves in the real world. Everybody talks up 12-volt air conditioners. Here in Nevada, on a sub 100 degree day, it works fantastic. On a 110 degree day, it seems like it's only slightly cooler than the Houghton, but it's more efficient than the Houghton. So, but our home has wheels, so we don't have to stay in 110 degree weather if we don't want to. And spoiler alert, I really don't want to. No. So Vegas is amazing in the winter, in the spring, in the fall, but it is horrible in the summer. So we're gonna get our butts out of here. We've got some adventures coming up. We've got some big changes coming up. So stay tuned for that. I'll let you know how this guy does long term, how things go. If there's any mods we so choose to make on this, I don't know that there's a whole lot that we need to do, but we'll keep you posted either way. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye, guys.